Now I'm joined with my guest here at the moment, and this is Rob Osborne, and he's come in to talk about a beautiful program he's been running at Balund-a. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for the invitation, Darren.
Yeah, well, I've had this poetry book for a little while now, and I've been meaning to get you in and talk, but we're both busy people travelling up and down the East Coast. Yeah. So, did you get yourself to the Blues Fest?
I certainly did, yes. I was there every day, in fact.
What was your highlight?
I think it was discovering Rhiannon Giddens, who I hadn't heard before. I actually walked into Blues Fest and I walked into the first tent that I came across, and she was singing Patsy Cline's famous song, She's Got You.
Wow.
And I thought, well, it doesn't get any better than this.
A lot of people and beautiful weather, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fabulous, the whole experience.
Well, it did rain, like religiously every year you get a little bit of a shower. There was one day there we had a shower in the middle of the day, and then it just cleared up and blue skies again.
It's fine. We did have the 6 weeks of rain before that.
Yeah.
So
I think it all rained out, you reckon?
I think so, yeah.
So let's talk about this project you're involved in, Balund-a.
Yep.
Give us a little bit of an overview, what it's all about.
Okay, well, a broader picture is that the program at Balund-a is part of Unlocked, which is a prison poetry workshop program, which we've been running across a number of prisons in New South Wales for about 8 years now. We bring in published poets and spoken word artists, hip-hop performers, rap artists, in to run workshops, and the outcome of each set of workshops is a printed anthology, but also importantly a CD of the participants reading or performing their work if there's a musical dimension. And at Balund-a, the program was specifically designed to fit into their cultural ethos. Balund-a being a diversionary program for young Aboriginal offenders.
Yep. And that's situated out at Tabulum, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's an institution that's actually run by the prison system, but as I say, it's a diversionary program, and it's on a spectacularly beautiful agricultural property in a bend of the Clarence River. Couldn't be further from the kind of image that the notion of a prison conjures up. And the program there is designed to address a number of issues, the kind of issues that lead to serial reoffending.
Yep.
And the whole organising principle is to keep young men out of the prison system.
And it takes on all the cultural principles of being Aboriginal in Australia, yeah?
It does, and that aspect of the program is actually organised and curated by local elders who are employed and work on the site in conjunction with the education and therapeutic staff.
And you mentioned people involved like Lionel Fogarty and Joe Geyer.
That's right. Last year, the program was led by Lionel Fogarty. As you're probably aware, Lionel is, outside of Australia, the most widely published and translated Aboriginal poet. I think 13 different languages his work has been translated into. Very much a respected elder figure in the literary scene of Australia. So he was the centrepiece, and he actually brought Joe Geyer in to add a musical dimension.
Yep.
There's also a local connection in that Lewis Walker was involved both last year and the year before.
Yep. Wow. Okay. So awesome project. And you were proud to be a part of it?
I'm very much so, and I think Balund-a is probably the best example of the way the program operates.
Yep.
And the way in which it contributes, I hope, towards a process where people come to understand more about themselves and more about the experiences and the behaviour that's led to their conviction and to their being in prison.
Yes, and get the support that they duly deserve. Yep.
I think so. One of the aspects of the workshops at Balund-a, and this was largely due to Lionel's personality, he's a very engaging guy, very sympathetic, was the way in which a collegiate and supportive atmosphere developed in the workshops. One aspect of working in the prison system is the need to be aware that most of the people we're dealing with, predominantly men,
Yep.
Over 90% of the prison population is male, although we have and do run programs in women's prisons. A lot of prisoners have had very unfortunate experiences in the formal education system.
Yep.
In fact, often disastrous, and are suspicious of the classroom. The classroom is often a site where they've experienced embarrassment, failure, and so we need a way to invite them in. And Lionel and Joe, and also Lewis, in a different way through dance and translating the work into Bunjalung and Kamilaroi, were able to invite people in and put people at their ease.
Into a safe space.
Precisely, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to play a little song off this CD, the anthology book. Yeah. It comes with all the poetry that was workshopped, I suppose, from the...
Yep.
And it has a CD at the back, and you've asked if I could play track 2, and that's a Balund-a song.
Yeah, I think that it really exemplifies the spirit of the workshops, in that there were numerous contributors to the lyrics of the song. Joe Geyer helped to shape the verses, and we actually recorded and mixed the song on the site during the workshops.
Wow. Well, let's have a listen then, and we'll come back and talk some more with Rob.
Sure.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Andrew. This is a song I wrote. It's called Balund-a. I didn't just write it on my own. I had help by 3 other brothers, so I hope you like it.
This is the land they call down under. I hope you know this is our land. We all sitting here at Balund-a. Another 6 months here, my friends. We all sit and think and wonder, 'cause our future's in our hands. I guess it's time to leave the past behind us, and it's time to be a man. I guess it's time to leave the past behind us and wake up and say we can. The things we done to affect our families, and all the ones we love and cherish. All my uncles and my aunties, my brothers and sisters and my babies. We need to stay in one direction and realize what we done was a lesson, and not to take this life for granted, 'cause we all know we had our chances. I guess it's time to leave the past behind us, and it's time to be a man. I guess it's time to leave the past behind us and wake up and say we can. And wake up and say we can. And wake up and say we can.
My kids, I watched them grow. I watched them cry. I watched them in pain. I watched them in happiness. I watched them become great little people. I can't wait to see what the future holds. You're right.
Wow. I'm joined back here with Rob, and that was a little piece with Lewis Walker translating.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And that's a lot of the stuff that's being done in this project, or was done in that project, and you're going to be doing more of it?
Yes, we're hoping to both expand and repeat the project during NAIDOC week of this year. Apart from the music and the poetry dimensions, there's also art.
Yep.
In that last year, and the year before, in fact, we had the involvement of an art teacher from ACE Community Colleges, Jan Levy.
Yep.
She invited 2 local Indigenous artists, Luke Close and Oral Roberts.
Both celebrated artists in the Bundjalung Nation.
And they set up and ran complementary art workshops. So the art workspace was immediately adjacent to the room where the writing workshops were taking place. The idea being that people could move between the two, and that the artwork would be complementary to the writing, and some of the artwork is printed in the anthology.
Yep. And your part in the project was you were recording and facilitating?
That's right.
Yep. And will you be doing it again?
Unfortunately, I'll be away this year, and I think I'm going to extend an on-air invitation to you to take on that role this year. Oh,
great. Okay, yeah, well, I've already shared emails with a couple of the people involved, so, it will happen, or possibly will happen.
Oh, that's great. I think you'll be a good addition to the team.
Nice one. And so with all this happening, what else do you do in the line of Indigenous prison system? Do you travel around at all, or is it just this prison that you've been working
my
with?
involvement has been with the Unlocked program over a number of years, 8 or possibly 9 years now. When it began, I was working full-time in the prison system, and a partnership evolved between myself and Joanna Featherston, who was the founding artistic director of the Red Room. That's how Unlocked began. We've run the program on a number of occasions. NAIDOC week this year will be the 3rd occasion at Balund-a, and we have run it specifically for Indigenous inmates at a number of prisons, but it isn't confined to Indigenous inmates, and the program is open in the sense that whoever wants to put their hand up is welcome in the workshops. Yeah.
And I brought it to your attention about 3NCR, who does Beyond the Bars, and they put out a CD every year as well of a similar sort of process.
Mm-hmm. My understanding is that their involvement is just for 1 week each year. Yep. In the past, I've worked on the Jailbreak program, which is a weekly program on 2SER in Sydney. It's also syndicated nationally, and all of the recorded work from each of the Unlocked workshops is broadcast on the Jailbreak radio show.
Right, okay, beautiful. Yeah, I was just reading that. Yeah, it says it goes for a week over the NAIDOC week.
Mm-hmm. And that's from one of the Victorian prisons, I understand?
Yes. Yep. It seems to have their own radio station there, so that's...
well, it's brought in and set up for that particular week.
Yep. Maybe that might be something down the track. Maybe get a whole...
That's a possibility, I think, yeah.
Get a radio station happening out there. Now, should I play one more track off this, and then we'll...
Yeah, the final track is a chant, a musical chant that was developed as part of a performance on NAIDOC Day itself. It involves Joe Geyer on vocals, Lewis Walker playing the didge, Lionel Fogarty on clapsticks, and some of the other guys. It was written collectively, rehearsed, and then performed as part of the culmination of the week on NAIDOC Day.
Excellent. And this is the final track on the CD, yeah?
It is, yeah.
And thank you very much for giving your time today.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
And we should talk more.
Yeah, we should. That would be good.
And I'll come out and check the program, and I'd love to be involved in it.
Yeah, good. I'm sure everyone will appreciate that.
Something very positive out there because of as we all know, the over-representation of Indigenous people in the prison system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need something positive out there for, to build up the esteem. And
we do, and the program has been running for long enough now for anecdotal evidence to suggest that it does reduce recidivism and helps keep people out of prison.
Definitely. thank you very much. Doing a great job.
Thanks you.
Second chance down by the river. Second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda. A second chance down by the river. Second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. Buraman, Burabe, Buraman, Burabe. Hakuraman, Hakurabe, Hakuraman, Hakurabe, Abugulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda. Second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. Amor, Jaguar, Amor, Jaguar, Amor, Jaguar, Amor, Jaguar. Bulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda, Bulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda. Second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. A second chance down by the river. Bingen, Wogan, Bingen, a Wogan, a Bingen, Wogan, a Bingen, a Wogan, a Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Balanda. Second chance down by the river. Second chance down by the river. The second chance down by the river. The second chance down by the river. Second chance down by the river. Guinea bee, a a guinea bee, a pudding, a guinea bee, a pudding, a guinea bee, a pudding. A Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda. Second chance down by the river. 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 Bugulma Burabe, Ulan Bulanda, Bugulma Burabe.